All right, welcome to economics class. Throughout this course, you will be getting content like this through videos or online slideshows, and we'll cover the rest of the material in class. I'll go over all this with you in person or on an online meeting, whichever way this ends up happening. Chances are, as you're watching this, we've already had that conversation, and I've already gone over that in detail. If not, I will do that the next time I'm in contact with you. So, first unit kind of sets up the fundamentals of economics, like it says right here on the screen. Basically, looking at what is economics, how does the concept or concepts related to economics affect you and affect everyone else. This unit kind of sets that up and gets that ball moving, and I'll go over some concepts in this first unit that will kind of carry through the entire course. So, again, fundamentals of economics. Some objectives here. We're going to look at scarcity, what it is, and how it is kind of like the thread that holds all of economics together. Scarcity, I'll probably mention this term through almost the entire course because scarcity is behind the workings of everything with economics. It drives everything. We'll look at how what entrepreneurs are, and how they fuel economic growth. And throughout the course, we'll discuss what that economic growth looks like in different forms or fashions. Look at different factors of production, what they are, how they drive things in an economy, the difference between physical and human capital, and again, how scarcity affects the factors of production and every other part of this. So, one thing to keep in mind here as we look at economics in the beginning is how satisfied are you? How satisfied do people seem? What, perception versus reality is important here. Very few people, yourself probably included, are satisfied with what they have. They always want more. You want the newest phone. You want the newest album by your favorite musician. You want the newest game, the newest shoes, the newest sunglasses, whatever it may be. You want the newest. And while you may seem satisfied and think, oh, I'm good for now, you get to a point where you want more. At the same time, the bills are due, whether it's car insurance, phone bill, you get a speeding ticket, something goes wrong with your car, your phone screen cracks, you need new shoes, something happens to where you want or need something new. And in most cases, you've got limited funds. You don't just have an endless supply of money. So how do you choose what you're going to buy when you can't have it all? So in a nutshell, what is economics? It's the study that looks at how people, how businesses, business owners, managers, things like that, and governments make choices, how they decide what to spend money on and what to do when there's a limited supply of resources. The concept of scarcity, again, is the thread holding it all together. It's always working kind of behind the scenes. It forces everybody to make decisions based on limited resources. Make us decide which options are the most important to us. So this little chart here is a good one. We've got unlimited wants, limited resources. We want more and more and more, but we don't have the money in our bank accounts to do that. That's scarcity. That forces us to make choices. And as far as businesses, as governments, societies, things like that go, you see these questions that are kind of lead us into the rest of the stuff. What's produced, how we're going to produce it, and who is going to buy it, who we're producing it for. So the fact that people can't have everything they need, and you see needs and wants here. Needs are essential for survival: food, water, shelter, things like that. And they don't have everything they want. Wants are not essential for survival. They may seem essential, like you've just got to have this kind of clothing. But the fact that those needs and wants are typically unlimited is kind of the beginning basis for scarcity and the beginning basis for studying economics. So when we're in person and we have another meeting, we'll discuss examples of needs and wants, and we'll discuss situations that make wants seem like needs, but we'll get into that at another time. So people try to satisfy their needs and wants with both goods and services. Goods are physical objects someone produces: car, shoes, sunglasses, hat. Food, Services are the actions or activities that someone or something performs for people. Waiting tables, a teacher, a doctor, the services provided by those people, those are services. People's needs and wants, again, are unlimited. People are always wanting more and always seemingly needing more. So, the universal fact that all goods and services are limited. Nothing is unlimited. Well, very few things are unlimited. All goods and services are limited, therefore cannot meet the unlimited wants and needs of the people. That's scarcity. There is simply never enough out there to satisfy the needs and especially the wants of everybody. And again, we'll talk in class or in a later meeting about how sometimes needs can be met, but wants usually aren't. Something important here, we'll get into the term shortage later on. Scarcity and shortage are not the same thing. If you go to the grocery store when they're calling for an ice storm or snow, you're going to notice something is missing from the shelves sometimes, bread and milk. That is not necessarily scarcity. That is not necessarily a shortage. Sometimes it's one or the other. And we'll get into that more later. But a shortage is when consumers, the buyers, you and I, we want more of a good or service than people are willing to make available at a particular price. It can be temporary, they can be long-term, but they usually affect only a certain amount of individuals. Scarcity always exists. So this is where that bread and milk missing from the shelves is an example of a shortage. There's going to end up being more bread and more milk on the shelves. So it's not scarcity. It's going to change. Scarcity never goes away. Shortages do. Entrepreneurs. So we're going to get into some of the factors of production here. You'll see more of this on the next slide. But entrepreneurs are basically the people that take a risk to start a business. They go out and they have an idea and they start a business. They want to make money. They want to provide some kind of service for people. Anybody who opens a business, large or small, gets new ideas out there, creates new industries, they are entrepreneurs. They fuel the economy. They help stimulate economic growth. That's why our American economy is as successful as it is, because of entrepreneurs. And again, we can get into some more of the issues of that at another time. They, being entrepreneurs, they assemble the factors of production. They gather land, labor, and capital to provide goods and services. Land is anything natural resources, water, dirt, wood, anything that comes from the earth is a natural resource. It's where buildings are built. It's where businesses are started. Labor is your workers. It's a human effort. This can be mental or physical. It can be ideas or it can be physical labor. Capital is all the goods used to supply other products and services. So if we were looking at this in class, the projector coming out of the ceiling, projecting onto the screen, hanging in front of the board, those are both capital. Those are goods used to provide a service. The oven or the stove in a fast food restaurant, that's a good used to provide another good or another service. Entrepreneurs, again, are the people that are running the show, kind of the business owners, people with ideas, take risks, make decisions for the businesses. So this slide just goes over the factors of production. Again, it's land, gift of nature, natural resources. Labor is people's effort, their work, their ideas. Capital, there's two different kinds, physical and human. Physical capital is human-made objects. Again, the stove or the oven in the restaurant, the projector hanging from the screen, hanging from the ceiling, projected on the screen in the classroom. Human capital is the knowledge and skills, the ideas, the skills a worker gains through education, through experiences. Economy requires both human and physical capital to produce goods and services. We need both. There's an 18th century French economist, Jean Baptiste. He said that the entrepreneur was so important that they in themselves should be considered a fourth factor of production. A lot of times when you look at factors of production, if you Google it, it'll come up with the three, land, labor, and capital. But Baptiste said the entrepreneur himself or herself should be looked at as a factor of production because they are key to the production process, to an economy. Lastly, something to keep in mind as we go through this course, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Nothing is free. Everything is limited. Everything comes at a cost, whether you see it immediately or not. Even those things we think are free. Someone, somewhere paid for it somehow. This is something to think about as we get into government class at another time, or you may already know this. Some politicians push the idea of free healthcare and free college education, free tuition. The fact is, nothing is free. That kind of stuff gets paid for by taxpayers or in some other form or fashion, but usually by taxpayers, tax dollars. So you'll end up paying for it in one way or another. Again, nothing's free. We'll cover some more of this in the next few sections, in the next few weeks, and as we get into some other projects and things in class. But good luck.